So now it gets a bit interesting. We're going to start to talk about the challenges that some of you have faced. I mean, many of you have been in industry for several years, and so clearly you're going to have come across some challenges. So can you just elaborate on what you faced and, how you've been able to overcome those problems, or, if you could do things differently, how you would have done them differently? I think, Vicky, you've got a really interesting story, so do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, I do. One of the biggest challenges I face, so I've been doing this for around 4 years. I believe this should be the 5th year. And one of the challenges I faced when I started was honestly a lack of knowledge and a lack of knowing where to get that knowledge from. Because like you have said, a very interesting story. So this is not initially what I had wanted to do, but I love that I do it now. So when I started, I was blind. I didn't know I didn't even know what digital marketing was about. And back then, companies also didn't understand the value of digital as they do now. You would have gone to someone and asked them to pay you, and they'd be like, for Facebook, that's what you want me to pay for. I have an account, I can do it myself. So, and because I was not confident enough to then elaborate and say, it's not Facebook, this is digital, it's different, it is going to do X and X and X for your business. At the end of the month, you'll see. So the first 2 years, I think, actually did it for free because I didn't know the value that it had. And if someone from somewhere had told me, you just need to be directed to this and this online platforms, learn from them, and then you can articulate better what it is that you do, I think I would have been a lot further now. I believe what I would have done differently was to look further online and try and find spaces and places that I can learn from, and also probably, and not just online spaces, but places like the Top Marketers Club and other areas where you can network with like-minded people, so that you can learn faster and you can grow faster. And the other thing the challenge I faced a lot was making mistakes, because this is the thing about digital now. Right now, companies understand the value of it. And we are always scared of making the mistakes because as a consultant, trust me, it will directly bounce back to your check at the end of the month. So those things, they happen. They happen all the time, where you did something that was not anticipated, or you said you overpromised and then under-delivered. So those are some of the initial mistakes that I made a lot, which means I lost some money. And sometimes your name will go out there and it won't really look that good because someone will say, oh, I used her and she didn't really do that job well. So those are some of the things that were challenging for me at the beginning. Yes, and so basically that's it.
Okay. Just to add on what Vicky has shared. On my side, I think the challenge that I face the most is content. So you get a client, he or she wants you to do her social media, or he or she wants you to do or his website, but they don't have content. So you tell them, you need to develop content, and content doesn't mean just the write-up and all that. Content entails now things to do with photos, things to do with videos, and all that. So the biggest challenge that I face even up to now is content, whereby someone doesn't have a write-up of the organization, what they do, some of their services, how they offer, and someone can't describe what they do literally, or the value they give to their customer. Like for instance, when you're marketing, or whenever we're doing the social media marketing, it's not just about telling someone that we sell these or these are our services. We need to give value to your audience, and this is in terms of even giving them advice on maybe some of the products that you offer. What advice can you give them? This is in terms of what value does your product offer that someone else doesn't offer. So these are some of the things that have been a challenge for a while. And in terms of content, in terms of now the photography part of it, you get someone wants you to promote their brand online, either through website or through the social media, but they don't have images. They tell you just go online, download anything and share. So you get like whatever you download online and whatever is on ground, the real thing on ground.
So low resolution.
Very different. Yeah.
So grainy images.
Yeah. So the images are very low resolution. You get the images are like maybe some have been photoshopped in a way that whenever somebody buys or orders for, if it's an online shop, if whatever someone orders and whatever is delivered, so you get like it makes a lot of it takes a lot of convincing, because now you as a social media, you've done your part. But now, whatever the audience gets at the end, it's not whatever the brand promised.
Yeah.
You see? So that now makes people now shy away from, those guys, they not deliver. And now it's you now as a marketer to be blamed, because
it's your campaign.
Yes, the campaign didn't perform well. But what now they fail to realize, maybe on that image, I use a photograph of someone, a white person, and the audience as blacks. I'm sorry to say this, but you get like sometimes people get more personal. Why are you using an image of someone from somewhere else and we can have
it's not relatable.
Yeah, it's not relatable. That's what I'm trying to say. So you get like so like this challenge has been there. Like you get like someone tells you just go download a video on YouTube and that describes the product that we have. This happens mostly with online people who are selling stuff online.
Right.
So you get like maybe there's someone who has already done something of the same in the US or somewhere else. So they just tell you just go pick it from their YouTube account and edit it for me and share it. So you get it is challenging because also of copyright issues and all that. After you can do a campaign and someone asks you to pull down because you infringe their rights. So it's really challenging.
Yeah. I actually totally resonate with you, because one of the challenges I face is actually getting to relate with brands that don't really understand the stories, because I get to understand that if you want to sell something or you want to bring a service to somebody, what kind of story are you telling? Besides this, what kind of feelings are you getting to evoke from these other people? But you see, many of them don't understand that. They're like, they have a vision. I'm like, how well do even the people that are working for you from your company, how well do they resonate with this vision? Like, do they sell it? Do you have your people? The ones you have in-house, are they your brand ambassadors? Because if they're not, it's not working. If the people you have in-house don't speak your story, how do you expect somebody else that you're trying to get from there to be able to speak your story? So that's normally the biggest challenge that I get to face, because I'm like, okay, tell me your vision, and someone is trying to read it from somewhere or trying to tell me I'll send it over to you. I'm like, no, what kind of story? Like, tell me, like, if I'm getting your product, what kind of feeling, like how should it make me feel when I'm looking at your page? What kind of feel should I get? Like, even I tell people, like, even colors, even the hues you use and the music you have, if you have videos, should be something that somebody sees and gets to be, this is a certain brand, because you've been able to evoke such feelings about the, so I'm like, this, where we are at this day and age, it's beyond what your products are, your story, the feelings that it gets to evoke. So that's one of the biggest challenges that I get.
And just to touch on that quickly, Jane, so how do you encourage your clients and specifically the employees to be brand ambassadors?
Okay, for me, being more inclined into the creative industry, I'm like, for example, if you're having clothes and bags, the demographics that you have in the office, do you understand the lifestyle of those people?
Interesting.
So let them get to take up, for example, bags that show who they are. So those bags, it means that around the circles that they get to hang out around, they get to be brand ambassadors. Just as simple as that. Something that I relate to. Have something that relates to the boss, something that relates to, you know, every different person, and that's how you get to even understand your niche. So it's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Alice, I know you've been talking about mobile marketing and, you know, some of the challenges you've had there, and, you know, sort of organizations coming into Kenya thinking that they know everything and they don't necessarily know that?
Yeah, it's interesting when it comes to marketing or even sales. One size doesn't fit all.
Yeah.
There's no way it's going to fit everybody. So you realize one of the things we're very keen about is understanding our audiences. Like Jingle said, if you don't have a very clear picture of who this person is, then it's going to really get hard to push out content to them. And it's interesting, at times you deal with brand managers who are just out to check a checklist. They just want to tick off everything on that list without realizing that if it's a failure, it's a reflection of you. So you realize you want to put, you want to advertise things or have influencers who are on Instagram, talk to a farmer who's in the village. Then you realize there's no relation. Again, you can tell you probably have a budget.
Yeah.
You probably have a checklist. I did Instagram and I checked it off. So that's probably, it is a real challenge. And beyond that is also just, if it worked for a brand in a different, and it's interesting, even with different African countries, there are different sentiments and different things mean a totally different thing.
Yeah. Do you want to expand on that? Like, give an example.
It's interesting. We're running a campaign in Rwanda, targeting, I don't know if you've heard of bodas. You should know that word by now.
Yeah.
So those are the motorbike riders.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So, and that's the target audience.
Okay.
And one of the things we had to get a bit sensitive about is even the person you use on the ads needs to look, they need to relate to this person.
Yeah.
Who's there. I'm not going to put you on that ad. You're too cleaned up. You know? And it's just to understand that probably even, I mean, it's a bit different from a Buddha guy in Kenya. Why? Because a Buddha guy in Kenya probably has been to school.
Really?
He's well schooled. Probably this is a last result because of certain bad experiences, so not just being lucky in terms of employment, but then again, they probably got some money somewhere, I can buy this, then it will give me my income every day. So again, it's understanding the guy in Rwanda, the guy in Kenya, the guy in South Africa. So you can't put a South African ad here. You can't run a South African campaign the exact same way you'd run it in Kenya. Why? We'll resist it.
Interesting.
And we'll say we cannot.
So it's the wrong market fit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you get this guy's talking, they'll give you quite a number of instances where it doesn't fit all. Probably goes down to what you keep saying. It's also come in and talk to some of the local agencies and try and get the actual conversations, get what's actually happening. Interestingly, is also, I think probably one of the challenges we face is trying to justify data.
Interesting.
You know, why, if I'm running a mobile-based campaign, I'll tell you probably a scratch and win campaign, then I'll tell you, let's not just run and reward, let's profile a little bit more and try and understand our customer. You know, we're trying to understand their age group, we're trying to understand I think mostly male, female. We've actually been shocked sometimes, some of the brands that we think are female skewed. There's actually a good number of male users.
Wow.
So then again, when you take that back, because we give periodic reports, when we take that back, the brand managers and the marketing managers actually get shocked and they're thinking, wow. So yeah, and the misconceptions have always been you are a mobile marketing agency, so you send messages.
Right.
The first thing everybody says, you do bulk SMSs.
Yeah.
And actually, unless it's for a client that we're really working with, we actually do not do bulk messaging.
You mentioned you use WhatsApp as well as a platform, which I found so interesting.
And WhatsApp is one of the most amazing platforms that we're working with now. We're just about to launch a campaign for one of our clients where we'll do a USSD, but we're also doing WhatsApp. What's exciting about WhatsApp is it's rich in media, meaning you can have more images, video, voice notes. It's exciting. And also, like we said, we want to build conversations. So it goes back into, I feel like I'm chatting to somebody I know. So again, it gets personal. So you'll realize that as much as the same platform will be used for advertising, running promotion, for loyalty programs, the same can be used for customer service, where I query and I get feedback. So that's we're basically moving away from traditional advertising as we knew. And of course, we will have a bit of a fight with your traditional advertising channels because it's what Victoria was saying. It's a lack of knowledge as to what exactly this does for the brand.
Yeah, of course.
So I believe that then in our instance is what we're trying to focus on is build as many case studies as possible and use cases, because then they defend what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to come and tell you I've worked with brand X and I delivered this and this were the KPIs and this is what we achieved. It's easier to come back and say this is my use case and show it. So it's become funny because what's up now I have to actually demo and you actually say it for you to believe and understand it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I actually relate both of your stories. Now this is where I wear the B2B hat.
Comes on.
I put the club on the side. So at a very early age, I was thrown into the B2B market. So here I was managing a big brand, it's a global brand, but cover 6 countries this side of Africa.
In East Africa.
Eastern Africa, 6 countries. East is 3. One, it's very hard to humanize a technical brand. It's not like water or some of these FMCG products. So one, I'm a thoroughbred marketer, I usually say that, like my degree is in marketing. So here you have a brand which is technical, probably never used it. I've used it once. So,
so you're not living and breathing your okay, alright. You won't tell your bosses that.
they don't see this video. But I'm representing them well, I guess. So you're tasked with humanizing this brand.
Yeah.
Because not many people understand what GIS is. GIS is Geographic Information Systems. Alice would know. Because it ties in well with mobile. So one of the things you have to do, because now you have 6 markets that you cater to, you have to segment it. Different countries respond differently to different messages. You're better off using influencers in particular countries or people from that particular country to run certain campaigns. A case in point would be, we were actually launching our Tanzania office. So when you call them, of course their Swahili is much better than ours. They speak most of the time. It becomes hard to like understand some of the things they're saying. So in such a case, you actually have to use people who speak that particular language.
Yeah.
The other thing is, when you're in B2B marketing, your job is brand management and lead generation. So on one hand, you have a very huge sales team. They rely on you to make sure that by the time they are going to a client, these guys know who you are.
Yeah.
They also require that lead. Before they even go, they need that lead before. So the digital and personal bit comes in here.
Okay.
Most of the time, these people, because a sale takes someone like 6 months.
Yeah.
And if you come to say an office and you meet the secretary and then say I want to book an appointment with the MD, chances are it will take very long.
Yeah.
So this is where social comes in.
So you need to build up a warm lead. Yeah.
Yes, you need to build up to that lead. So this is where LinkedIn comes in.
Yeah.
You need the decision maker to show them that process.
Yeah.
So on LinkedIn, you're able to actually see all the decision makers in an organization. You're able to reach out to them. You're able to build that rapport with them, and that's where the personalization bit comes in.
Yeah.
It's not all about selling. So this person has a family. You're talking about building profiles. You also need to have a buyer persona of this person, the age and everything, so that when they get their information, you find some people never on mobile. I mean, they don't read blogs, or newspapers, so you waste your online ad on somebody who just reads magazine. So, as a B2B marketer, it means you have to read a lot on how to humanize this brand, and also on how you can be able to execute it.
And you talked about personas. I mean, Alice, how do you build personas with your clients? Because ultimately you need to understand who that individual is that you're marketing to? So do you use tools or analytics, or is it based on experience?
A little bit of everything, because the first thing is we require a very clear brief.
Yeah.
A lot of our work is very technical, but we require a very clear brief, because if we have an in-house strategy team that then sits and tries to understand this audience. So we'll ask you, what's the age group, where is they, what's their LSM, the living standard measure, where do they live, what kind of televisions, what exactly?
What media do they engage with?
What do they listen to? What do they like? Who do they? If there's a person, and probably you have 3 influencers, who would they relate to? And in that way, we start seeing the channels that then start relating with this audience. It's like saying, if I go to a CEO and say, I'm going to give you a USSD solution, as technically viable as it is, it's a bit old school.
Yeah.
It's a bit tedious.
Yeah.
So this person might not relate with it.
And USSD, can you explain that for our audience? So what
a
that
USSD
actually
is
says?
it's sort of like a short code. It's actually a short code. It's like if you dial how you top up your data, *544 hash.
Yeah.
So that's what you call a USSD string. So you'll find that there's a market, like if I'm doing mass market, I'll probably run for that as my main media. Why? It means even the person with the lowest level of feature phone can access that. But then again, as understanding this profile then helps brands not waste money on unnecessary channels.
Yeah.
So it's to say you're targeting, it's a beer brand, you're targeting 18 to 25-year-olds. Where are they? They're probably on social. So why should we waste money on everything else? Why not focus on Facebook using influencers? And at times we're walking away from the macro kind of influencers and looking for these nano ones who've got their own kind of pull and helping them build conversations through those. So you have to get the persona, but a lot of it as well is you have to relate to the brand. Some are very difficult to relate with, but then it's exactly that. Today I had to walk into a supermarket, purchase a product from my client, and actually figure how they've put in the conversation in, because at the end of the day I have to put myself in the shoes of the customer and try and see the ease of interacting. So if I can't get to that level, then I might fail.
Yeah.
The technical solution might be very good, but with no engagement, then it means we're not moving. Yeah.
Just to add again on what they have said, you get like there are some customers who I've gotten several of them who they want everything to be digital, so they remove the human aspect of it. So they tell you social media or digital should do everything for us. Like I think there's one I met where they were promoting an event and they were expecting social media to do everything for them without having even people, the salespeople and all that, to help push the brand and all that. So as much as we are saying digital media is here to help brands get reach to a broader audience, people must also understand that social media does not, or digital marketing does not replace the people, the human aspect of it, whereby we still need the salespeople who will go to the people after we've informed the people now through the digital media platform about your brand. Now we need people now to go complete the sale, or to go complete the sale. That's why we are saying that digital has not replaced any, or has not replaced, or has not shortened the sales process. The sales process must still continue, whereby this person needs a human touch of it, whereby I need to talk to you and clarify more. If you didn't understand much of what you saw online, at least I can clarify to you and you can get to buy the product.
And to that point, would you say that because there's been such a growth in the digital market, or digital marketing, should I say, that some companies have almost got a bit lazy and just had a full reliance on digital and neglecting some of the other areas? So they're not looking at integrated marketing campaigns, they're just focusing on one area.
Let me just answer that question in 2 ways. There is number one, just to sort of expand even, I like what you said about audiences and what everyone has chimed in on audiences. So something we face in digital is you find that, especially because I work with companies that are between 1 to 4 years, which means they've had 1 year to figure themselves out, but they're still not there yet. So you find that for them, it takes time for them to understand, you know what, Twitter is not your platform. I understand that you want to be on Twitter, but it won't work for you. So you find that for a lot of people in the industry, getting a business to understand that, imagine Instagram is all you need, because that's just how your brand is, and that is what people are responding to. There is no problem with having a Facebook page. There is no problem with being on LinkedIn. There is no problem with being on Twitter. But Instagram is what I want you to put all your marketing budgeting in, because based on what we're looking at in terms of sales, in terms of insights, this is where your people are at. So you find that for a lot of people, they're still trying to understand their audiences. And like you talked about a buyer persona. A buyer persona is basically describing your customer from everything about them as a person, and you look at them and you name them, and you give them a home, and you give them a salary, and you give them kids, and you give them a wife. If they're single, they're single. If they're in school, they're in school. And a lot of people don't do that, then market. What we have is people marketing, then wasting budgets, and then coming to realize, oops, I thought my age group was 28 to 35, but as it turns out, these people between 24 to 28 actually have the money to buy my product.
And as a marketer, how are you helping them to identify that?
What I do with a lot of my clients is, number one, I have to buy into your vision. I had a meeting earlier with my clients, and I was telling them, if I don't buy into the vision of a client, I don't work with them. Because buying into the vision of my clients, because I really like to offer very personalized and relationship-based services, when I don't buy into the vision of what you do, then I will not have the interest to sit and research and learn and be passionate about your business. Because you first have to sit with them, like they say, when a company can't articulate its, if the CEO or the founder cannot articulate their mission without having to look back at their website, or their vision without having to look back at their website, there's a problem. That means you have to even first sit down and sort of have a change management, company culture, discussion before you even move to now talking about branding and marketing. So I sit with them, I understand what it is that they do. I think that's the point where even us as professionals, we get lazy. Sit down for as long as you can, understand who it is that they are, what it is that they do, until it can be articulated properly. That is when now you can move into strategy and all the other nitty-gritties that we enjoy doing. And that will save you a lot of time instead of jumping into it, having asked for money for a campaign. You have done the campaign and there are no results. And by results, we mean sales and leads.
Just to throw out to the panel, any final comments in terms of challenges and overcoming them?
Okay, I think I have one that is really burning.
You've been sitting on it for a while.
Okay, this one is whereby you meet a client. They are still they are still a startup or very young in the business. So you sell to them your idea, and they like it and they are wow about it. So you sign a deal and they agree and everything. And you agree, we are going to grow together, we are going to be there. When I grow, and also you also grow.
You make money, I make money.
But now it reaches to that point when now they have grown and they see, no, we can't continue using this guy. So they go for the bigger agencies. So you get that is really a very big challenge, because sometimes they get a very raw deal when they go to the bigger agencies. Because you see, when you use a small agency or people who are still coming up, you get a better deal and a 360-degree name. In terms of services, you get more as you compare to using the bigger agencies and all that. So yeah, that's a challenge that if someone is aspiring to venture into the space, they must understand that
Sorry. It's interesting because, like I've mentioned, one of the things I've got a passion for is working with startups. I love to sit with startups and work with them and try and figure out what's your overall strategy and especially and more so at the end of the day, your sales strategy is what will keep you going.
Yeah.
So I feel at some point, based on the ones I've had to deal with, it has had to be a training of leadership and on how to deal even with some of these attitudes. Because let me tell you, at times you just act like that big agency because it's very easy to suck up to get the business in. And I've seen quite a number of businesses that I've dealt with go through that. So you get them in, and the minute they're making revenue, they decide they can now pay top dollar for the next person. So again, we sit down and try and figure out what kind of contracts are we negotiating. One of the things which I know short-term contracts are very good for now, but they won't feed you for long.
Yeah.
Sure. Because they'll give you a short-term contract, the next time you move to the next guy, take another short-term contract, maybe not even pay your bills completely. So one of the things I'm also very critically keen about is how to negotiate some of these contracts and ensure that the small business is covered. And ensure that you're not drowning in debt, in paying salaries, in everything else. And you know what? We can have discussions. That's actually one of the things I love the most, and trying to get it out there and sell your product.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you have to sell it before you put it out in other places. Sell it. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, just to wrap up, of course you had a point.
I have a burning point as well. Just to respond to him. One way of solving that is there are two things. Number one is value addition to your client. There's a client I've worked with actually my first client, just 4 years ago, is still my client to this day. And true to the promise, we have grown together. We have grown together, but it's because I have constantly added value to their company. I have constantly shown that I still deserve to be there. I still deserve to have a seat on the table. And for that reason, we have grown a relationship that is even outside just work. I am like now part of the family, basically. And how you do that is that you constantly add value. You find ways to add value, find pain points that they didn't even know existed in their marketing grid, and then solve those problems even without them asking you to, because that's the only way you will survive as, I don't like calling them like small agencies, as a boutique agency. As a boutique agency, that's the only way you'll survive. The other thing is relationships. I did something for my clients in December, and I just wanted to like experiment and just see how they will take it. So I give gifts to like all my clients, like very personalized gifts based on how I had learned them as individuals. So by the amount of time I've spent with you, because I always like to learn who you are outside just your CEO, founder, marketing manager-ness. Like who you are as a person. And even when you walk into a person's office, you can easily tell who they are and what they like. And I just gave like each one of them like just something special, and the reactions were priceless. Because some of these things, if it was a big agency that I've probably like given them like a plane ticket or just something big, they were very small gifts, but because they were very personalized, that humanity to it and that personalization makes this person feel that you see them as more than just a colleague, as more than just the person who signs the check. You see them as a human, and that continues the relationship. Because as a boutique agency, one of the advantages you have is that you can spend more time with the client, more than someone who has like so many other we all have responsibilities, but more than someone who works with the corporates where the branding manager and the marketing manager and the sales manager are all three different people. For the smaller companies, it's one person. So the more you personalize, the more relationship-based management is something that will help you to stay longer, because they will always look and see this person, they are continuing to add value, so why should I get rid of them? And I have had those instances where people have left, and to be honest, they have come back.
Interesting.
Yes.
It's true. I resonate with you actually on that part of the human perspective. It's a conversation that is going to be there now and for a very long time. So as you're saying, like for me, I like, for the brands that I work with, I like going and interacting and integrating with the team if I can, because I want to see, as a brand, how do you treat your people? What is it that you get to give them? Because if you understand what it is that you give your people from the things that you do, you're able to understand what to give out when you're marketing. Like I tell people, even freebies, even the ones you're giving out in the office, are they relating to the people that you have there? Because, I mean, for example, you give someone a USB flash disk, for example, someone who does tea in the office, it doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't resonate to them. But maybe a school bag or something for their child, it's something that they never get to forget. So you need to keep understanding that human perspective and start it within your circle before you move to the outside, because when you understand it from the inside, it's very easy to actually take it outside. And it's the same thing she was saying about culture. When you get to make your culture in the office easier to understand, easier to take it in, from the person cleaning and serving tea to the CEO to everything, and they just take it in, taking it outside there is normally so much easier.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, some of you have brought up some excellent points in terms of some of the challenges that you faced. You know, some of the key points that I picked out is content, finding good content, rich media that can be used, that doesn't have any copyright issues. So, you know, it's being able to overcome that and developing content for your client. You know, some of you mentioned about wrong market fit, and the fact that you'll take a product out to a market, but it doesn't relate to that market. You know, I'm still burning from the fact that Alice said I wouldn't relate to the Rwandan market because I'm too clean. But anyways, well, you know, and then we talked about technical solutions as well, and how you're able to take out a brand that isn't necessarily one that's sexy and relatable, but being able to still deliver value and show value as well. And also personalization and humanity. I think that's at the core of a lot of what this conversation is about. Marketing needs to have personalization. There needs to be that human touch. It's excellent now that we've moved into that sphere where there's data and there's analytics, but we cannot neglect that personalization. We cannot neglect that human touch, because at the core of marketing and branding and advertising, that is what is going to take your message to market and make sure that it delivers and it resonates with that market.